Alright, I'm gonna do a little video here for y'all, about airbrushes. What's that thing on my head? What's this? Glare, what the fuck ever. Anyway, uh, anyway, for airbrush, when I first got one of these airbrushes, I ran into a couple problems. One of them was it was clogging, and I just could not figure out what the fuck it was keeping. I mean, I cleaned the shit out of it. What I found was, here's my airbrush. It's a Iwata. Uh, what I found was in this tip here, right? This very the part that the needle is stuck in, this thing won't focus. This one little part, right? There, it could come off. Anyway, what you need to do is, if you find your airbrush like kind of spitting and it goes different directions and shit, you need to take that off and take the needle out. And then go in from the back the same way that it works anyway, and you kind of tilt the needle to the side and start scraping, and you push out through the front of that little tip. Is probably going to be some dried paint. Once I learned how to do that, I mean, it was smooth shit. And literally, I have 3 airbrushes because I was like, what the fuck is going on? They also sell those tips as well. They're like 20 bucks. I didn't know that at the time either because no one made a video like this. Or it was 30 minutes long and I didn't fucking want to sit there for 30 minutes for one little bit of information. I've just done in 2 minutes. But anyway, another helpful tip. You want the dual action airbrush. It's air comes out and then different amounts of paint come with it. One of the things I learned was while you're painting, kind of come back off the thing and just do where it's just air, and you're trying to dry the paint as you're painting. For what I do now, all I do is I paint toys. So if there's different shit for like canvas painting, I don't know it. I only paint action figures like this right here. I paint that guy right there, and I did all this with an airbrush, and this is what it used to look like right here. This is what I'm doing. Thin your paints. It also helps that I have a bucket down here for trash, and I keep it full of rags and stuff. And you want to use these so you can squirt it in there, and you can suck it right back out. And I do that a lot. And whatever's left, I get a spray bottle and I go over my bucket and I just spray the shit out of it so it comes out, and then I fill it up, and it's just water, but they have cleaner too. But you can just spray it out once it's in there and do that a couple times. And since I've been cleaning my airbrush like that, and thinning the fuck out of my paints, I have had that problem a lot less. But it still happens. Sometimes what I find on the tip of these things is that paint is dry right there. And that'll get in your airbrush and fuck it up. So do what I just twist it, nipple, and rip it off. But those 2 things were a game changer when I first got my airbrush. Take the tip off and stab it from the back with the needle, so you don't, but don't fuck the needle up. And just push the paint. There's paint in there. Also, get a regular cleaner kit and just clean it regularly. It also helps if you just take the bowl off and soak that bitch in water overnight when you're done. That's also helpful. But scraping it out of the tip, I mean, it was so frustrating. Because I'd put water in it and I'd squirt it out, and it would be fine. And then I go get some more paint, and it was fucking frustrating. So now I got like this one. I got this one. Also, you want a gravity-fed one. Don't get a siphon-fed one like that. These are cool. I mean, they work, but I've got all these fucking things. Also, another tip is sometimes, since you're drying as you're painting, you're going to want to come up here with your fingernail and rip some of this paint off that'll build up on the end of your needle. It'll stick out this thing. Sometimes you can take the tip of this off, and your needle will be sticking through there. And you can scrape it from there, but for the most part, the only thing this thing does is guard your needle So you don't even need this, really, as long as you're not throwing your shit around. But you can take this off and scrape some off the end of your needle, or just take it out, stab it. And that's everything I know. Some of the best tips that I had when I first started airbrushing. So there you go.